Hello and welcome to Arabic language lessons. This is lesson number 14, the broken plural, الدرس رقم 14, جمع التكسير. As usual, we begin by saying Assalamu alaikum. Alright, continuing with the plural. As you remember, we've already done in the previous lessons the unchanged plural. Now we're dealing with the changed plural or the broken plural. And we're only doing names because there's only names when it comes to the broken plural or the changed one. And if you remember, we said you can either break them into two, like the plural kinds, into two or three. In any case, we're dealing with this one, the broken plural, or sometimes called the changed plural. And this is like the definition. The reason it's called broken is because the other one is called unchanged or safe from changing. And that's really why they're called this changed and unchanged. And if you remember from the previous lesson, the unchanged one, the singular form kept its form when it went to plural, and it just got added like things to it, but it still kept its form, right? This one doesn't. As you can see in those two examples, it doesn't keep its form. Like the singular does not look like the plural, and it's not like and it's not as easy as just adding something to the end of it. It's not. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But as you can see here, shajara, which means tree. The plural form is ashjar, and it's a broken form of plural, right? Trees. Student, and here it's talib, and the plural form is tullab. Anyhow, so this is only a small example, but we're gonna get into more examples, and hopefully you'll understand more. All right, so before we move on, we're just gonna touch up on this thing. A lot of people will tell you, and it is true, that the broken plural doesn't really have rules. You just have to memorize it. And some others will tell you, no, there is some kind of rules that you can follow. There are many, but one of the ones that I like is, first, like it's broken into two. One is called a plural of the few, which means it's between 3 to 10. And the other one is called plural of the many. They're both broken plurals, right? So let's just make sure we get that. They're both broken plurals. One of them is plural of the few, and the other is plural of the many, right? Plural of the many it's when it's like 10 or above, 10 or greater. So if the number is 10 or greater, then it falls here. And if it's between 3 and 10, and notice we didn't include 2, which we'll get to in the next lesson, lesson 15. Anyhow, so the trick with this one is there's 4 forms for the plural of the few. Those 4 forms. So if it's broken, meaning if it's not unchanged, and it's not one of those 4, then it's called the plural of the many, and like you memorize it, right? I'm not sure if this is helpful. If you really want to know, like sometimes you would want to know which one it is, but anyhow, I just thought you might want to know. Or you can just go with like phonetically and memorization. So whenever you see a broken plural, you just memorize it. Anyhow, either way, I just wanted you to know this bit. And next we're gonna do a few examples. So our first example is bahar, which means sea. As you can see here, the singular form I put it in green, and the meaning is in green as well, and the plural is in red, and the forms are in blue. Anyhow, so bahar, and right here we have two forms, abhur, which also means seas, same as bihar. First one is a broken plural of the few, abhur. I'm going to say it again, abhur, and it's of the form af'ul. And the second example is bihar. It also means seas, but this one is a broken plural of the many, and it's of the form fi'al. And we can see it in the Quran in those two verses. First one is in Luqman, ayah 27, wal bahr. So see here, this is the singular form, bahr, and alif lam, and here we have abhur in the same verse or the same ayah, abhur. This one is the plural of the few, seas, means seas, and we see it again in takwir, takwir, the overthrowing, and we see bihar, وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ سُجِّرَتْ, and this one is plural of the many. You see, it means the same thing, but slightly different when it comes to few or many. All right. The second example is ni'mah. Ni'mah is can mean like blessing or favor from Allah. So, and we have two forms of plurals here. One is broken plural of the few, and the other is broken plural of the many. An-nu'um and ni'am. They both mean favors. And this is the form they come in. And here we find them in the Quran in those three verses. وَمَن يُبَدِّلْ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ. Ni'mah. See here, it's in the singular form, ni'mah, in the cow 211. And here we see it on those in those two verses, two ayahs, in the plural form. شَاكِرًا لِأَنْعُمِهِ. I tried to not have the first letter in red, but those two letters are together, and it's hard to kind of color one and leave the other uncolored. But it would look like this. It would look like this. أنعم لأنعمه. It's just one letter is sticking there, but it's the same word. أنعم, meaning favors. In the plural form, broken plural of the few. And the last one, وَأَسْبَغَ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعَمَهُ. This one is also broken plural, but of the many, ni'am, which is the plural form of ni'mah. All right, one last example, which is nafs. Nafs means self. Anfus, nufus. So anfus is in the form of af'ul, which is a broken plural of the few, meaning selves. Anfus. And the other one we have is nufus, which is a broken plural of the many, meaning selves, in the form of fu'ul. And we have three verses right here with us containing those three words that we just mentioned. لا تكلف نفس إلا وسعها. Nafs here, self, in the singular form. And continuing with the second one, وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم. This is selves. It's actually themselves because of the pronoun here. So here you can see the word meaning selves, plural of the few, broken, plural of the few, and it's attached to a pronoun, them. Hum is them. Them, this one. Them, that one. Alright, so let's put it back. وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُم. Alright, one more. رَبُّكُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا فِي نُفُوسِكُمْ. And again, a pronoun is attached to the word nufus. See that one here? And a pronoun is attached to it at the end. Nufus is selves. Kum, like when it's attached, nufusikum becomes yourselves. Alright, so this is it for this part. Maybe in the next part I will add like more examples. One last thing before we say salam is I've lost the file while I was doing this lesson. So you'll find that in the beginning of the video I'm using a file, and when you download it you'll see like it's a different file. As you can see, like let me scroll up so you can see it. It's a little different than before, but it's the same information. Just I had to rewrite it because I lost the file. But anyhow, it's the same information. And with that we say ma'as salama, and don't forget that there's a file that you can download in the description. If you go down to the description you'll find a file called Learn Arabic Lesson 14, the Broken Plural, where you can download from Mediafire. And until the next lesson, ma'a as-salama.